and good morning from Umbria, specifically the little village of Tenaglie. We're about to start the Cammino Dei Borghi Silenti, the walk of the silent villagers. It's a circular route that starts here in Tenaglie, and over the next 4 days we'll be walking round and arriving back here. Let's take a look at the route now. The Cammino dei Borghi Silenti was developed in 2019 by Marco Fioroni and is a perfect way to explore this part of southern Umbria, often called the Green Heart of Italy. It's a circular route, starting and ending in Tenaglie, overlooking the Tiber Valley. I did the walk in 4 days, with day 1 looping south through Guardea and Santa Restituta, heading north again and ending the day in Melezzole. Day 2 summits Monte Croce di Sera with stunning views and incredible landscapes, and ends in the little village of More. On day 3, you loop back north, passing through some peaceful, empty landscapes, although there are some challenging climbs to tackle. I ended the day in a small agriturismo in the tiny village of Ceretto. On day 4, I was passing through more agricultural land, olive groves, vineyards, and I also passed through the tiny villages of Baschi, past Etruscan tombs, and then a final uphill pull into Montecchio, and back in the dark to where I started at Tenaglie. And these, here are the signs we're looking for. So, got a change of direction, and we're heading off over here. Just stopped for my first break, about 4 kilometres in. Pretty easy going so far. It's been mostly asphalt and gravelled roads, so nothing too difficult. It's probably a good time to talk a little bit about the walk itself. So the Cammino dei Borghi Silenti, the walk of the silent villagers, quiet villagers, peaceful villagers, is a circular route, starts in Tenaglie, and traditionally done over 5 days. I'm actually doing it over 4 days. Reason for that is mostly because it's very early in the season. In fact, the office for the walk, the official start of the walk, is actually not open for another month. So we had a few challenges, rather like my walk on the Via degli Dei. We had a few challenges getting accommodation, but the people that we called and spoke to were incredibly helpful and incredibly kind, and have helped me organise everything. But the weather for the next 4 days is forecast to be up sort of very, very mild, up in the sort of 16, 17 degrees. It's early February. It's a bit unusual. It's a bit worrying. But I'd wanted to do my first hike but wasn't sure exactly when I was going to do it, and then with the opportunity with the weather, I thought this was a good time. So again, as usual, everything was a little bit last minute. A little bit later on I'll talk to you about the guide for the walk, because it's quite an interesting little story, and also a little bit of background information around why I would absolutely suggest that if you do want to do this walk, that you buy the guide and the credential that comes with it. It's all going to a good cause. I think it goes without saying that as you go in and out of the little villages, that you will be doing road walking, but so far in the whole walk I've seen 6-7 cars, and that's it. It's a Saturday as well, so incredibly quiet. And these are the views that are accompanying me on my right side. You can see the River Tybee down there, and then up on the top of the hill over here you can actually see the town of Montefiascone, which is on the Via Francigena if you decided you wanted to walk there. The plan at the moment is to aim to get to one of the villages called Santa Restituta and take a break there, have lunch. That should take me about, from here, between an hour and a half and 2 hours, depending on the slopes. At the moment it's pretty steady, but in about a kilometre and a half, we've got a bit of a short, sharp ascent, and then we basically don't lose much of the height from that point onwards. So we'll see how we go. Something's telling me that I need to go left here. Actually, the signage has been incredible, and there are places where they have very clearly marked that you're on the wrong route with these yellow X's. So well done to the organisers. Fantastic route. Here we are at the highest point of the walk. It's just about 12:30. A little bit of a sit down. I would like to say that we're going to get glorious views, but actually not far ahead of us there's another peak which is almost the same height, so we don't get quite the clear views, but once we get to the top of that we should be able to see Santa Restituta, where I'm going to stop for lunch. In the last 7 kilometres we've ascended 500 metres, mostly slow and steady, a couple of little sort of places where it's a little bit steeper, but the whole thing has been on gravelled roads, so pretty easy walking. Just keep a steady pace and you'll be fine. So, had a snack, had a drink, and just getting ready to head off again. Looking forward to lunch, I have to say. Had a bit of an early start this morning, so I'm getting a bit peckish. Village of Santa Restituta, hiding in its hills. It's actually quite funny because from here I can see part of a walk that I did last year, the Antica Via Amarina, which is also absolutely fabulous. I'll put a link above. It was a fantastic walk. It's lovely to be able to see things that I've done in the past. Leaving Santa Restituta and heading to the next village of Toscolano. It's about 3 kilometres away. And these beautiful semi-woodland paths. Again, pretty easy walking. You can see they're sort of half gravelled at a pace that you can enjoy. You don't feel rushed when you're walking, which is what all the best walks should be. Doing the last bit of descent before we begin the ascent up to the village. It's one of those paths that requires a little bit of attention. So making the video at this point is probably not the wisest thing. Already taken a bit of a tumble, nothing serious, but the path is quite rutted and there are lots of leaves, so my foot disappeared into a hole and the rest of me continued forward. Doesn't seem to be any damage, a little bit of a twinge in the ankle, but we're still walking and we're okay. Not on to painkiller stuff yet. We're also getting the nice reminder that it is still February. Once you're out of the sun, temperature really does drop, and it's about 4 o'clock, so the temperature now is only about 11 degrees here, so I'm hoping that I get up the hill before I need to worry about putting on another layer. I think I should be okay. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll show you why I'm about to stop recording, and then you can see what I'm about to do. Looks fun. You can see here what the path is like and what I've been walking on for the last 10 minutes or so. If I can show you this here, which looks basically like it's going straight up, is actually the path. As you can see how rutted it is, so need to pay attention now. So here we have it. It's about 75 metres of ascent and about 450 metres of walking. I know the villages look pretty, but at the end of the day, there's always a bit of a sting in the tail. Anyway, I'm doing this for you. That's what I'm doing it for. And for me, obviously. About 30 metres left to go. It's levelled out a little bit here. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to share some of these incredible views. Just fantastic. And also it's an excuse to have a bit of a stop. And we made it. What I've got to do now is find my accommodation. Given the size of the place, I don't think that's going to be too difficult. But we'll catch up later. Here we are at the end of the day in Melezzole, beautiful medieval village. And I said I would talk a little bit more about why I would definitely recommend that you get the guide for this walk. A couple of reasons. The first one is that contained in the guide is a complete description of the route, all in Italian. So if you don't speak Italian, you may be wondering why I'm saying this. What you also get is the most fantastic list of accommodation. It also contains places to eat. It contains places where there are banks, places there are pharmacies and shops, all that kind of stuff. And in the guide itself, there is also, at the end of each stage, a comprehensive guide with address and telephone numbers for all of the places listed. This is the 5th version. The guide is updated on a regular basis. So for that reason alone, even if you don't speak Italian, this in combination with the website, which you can translate into English, is worth the money. The second reason is probably more important, I guess, in some ways. This is not a Kai route. This has been developed and organised by an individual and a group of walkers. And the money from the guides actually help keep the paths in repair, keep the signage up to date, keep the guide up to date, and generally make sure that people can still walk it. Third reason, you get or you can purchase a credential. So rather like the Via Francigena or the Cammino di Santiago, you can use this to get discounts, to get offers. Some of the places that you can stay at will only let you stay with this credential. So all of this is all organised by the people who set up the walk. So definitely buy the guide, help keep this going, and come along and enjoy this incredible walk. The first day has just been fantastic. But come along and do it yourself. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow.